Welcome to Friday Friends, RI Elder Info's weekly look at the organizations and individuals providing resources for Rhode Island seniors, caregivers, and professionals.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I am so glad that you were able to join me today. As you know, I am Deb Burton, the founder and creator of RI Elder Info and rielderinfo.com. We are a 501c3 nonprofit here in Rhode Island. We bring the most comprehensive resources for seniors, caregivers, and professionals. And every Friday at 9 o'clock, I interview different organizations from around the state that you need to know about. And this week, we are talking about a really important subject. So it's super important that you hit the like button and then share this video out. We are discussing something that is absolutely critical and we need to get the word out. So it's really important that you share this to any community groups, to your page that you might have, because we really need to get the word out about today's guest. So we are a nonprofit. What we do would not be possible without the support of our sponsors. So we are super grateful to Oak Street Health. They have locations in Warwick over by the Christmas Tree Shop, in Providence on Branch Avenue, as well as on Broad Street over by the Old St. Joe's, and then another up in Woonsocket on Diamond Hill. We are also really grateful to United Health. They are one of our great sponsors. They provide insurance for individuals on Medicare. We are also very grateful to D&B Media. They are operating the magic behind the scenes here, making sure everything appears correctly down below. And England Studio, they are the ones who are responsible for making the rielderinfo.com website look great and stay up to date and making sure that you're aware of what we're doing out here. We're also very grateful to Tamarisk Assisted Living. It's a little assisted living facility right over by the mall. If you're looking for a place where your loved one is treated like family, give Susan a call over there and she'll make sure that they are loved on and cared for as if they were her own family members. So today we are discussing something that is so very important. We are continuing dedicating our Friday Friends for the month of September in recognition of September 11th, 20th anniversary. So today we're speaking with someone who, if you read his Facebook profile, he says he's a lion tamer, but the reality is he's a demon tamer, and he's taming those demons for our veterans who have served. I'd like to bring Ken up from Heroes Horizon. Welcome, Ken. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me this morning.
Yeah. So tell everybody, what is Heroes Horizons?
Heroes Horizons is a 3-year-old 501c3. We started this organization to assist veterans with basic everyday needs and immediate deployment of action for a veteran who needs something to get by that day. And it's grown into something else, but that was our initial idea.
Why? Why is that important?
I think that there's a need for it. My call to action was that we have veterans that are A, living in the streets, B, don't have heating oil and have leaky roofs and broken cars. And I find it slightly offensive that there aren't resources. And if there are, it's stacks of paper, weeks of waiting. We like to deploy immediately and help people as soon as possible. So
that is, yeah.
If I get a message saying someone's out of heating oil, me or somebody else is going to get out of bed with 5 gallons of heating oil to put in and call the oil truck first thing in the morning. We want people to have service immediately.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you do the heating oil. Do you help with food? Do you help with other kinds of repairs on people's homes? Do people have to be honorably discharged or served in a foreign war? What are the criteria for a veteran to get help?
Well, it's like this. Any veteran, any era, any conflict, any sex, any religion, if you go to my website, we don't really get into whether you served honorably. If you signed the dotted line and offered your life for my country, we want to help you. Our biggest missions yet have been peeling off roof shingles and reshingling roofs for one, a 92-year-old World War II Army nurse who lives in Narragansett, and the news came that day. It was fantastic to be on the news, and we got a lot of missions and we got a lot of resources that day. We got some street cred, and some of the other missions were people need a ride to a doctor's appointment. That's a smaller mission, but equally as important that they have to get there and they need a lift. So it goes and it varies in between. Those missions can be kind of close to home, but the requests we get on our website have been around the country. We've been able to provide other types of services for people as far away as northern Maine, Arkansas, Florida. If we can help, we really don't want to say no, and we've rarely had to say no to anybody.
That is absolutely amazing. So I'm assuming that you do most of your missions here in the Rhode Island area, just for geography. Okay.
Right.
And so how do you go about letting people know that you're available? How do people reach out to you? How do they know? And how do they how can we help you reach them?
I go to high visibility areas, like the county fairs, festivals, Woodstock Fair, Washington County Fair. We're going to the Freiburg Fair. I stand in front of a booth and I make sure everybody gets my card and a brief description of what we do. We are an immediate action 501c3, fully volunteer. Nobody gets paid. If a veteran needs help, we're gonna do what we can to support them. So it's word of mouth, literally my mouth and those words.
You know, it's funny because the first time I met you, Heroes Horizon was brand new and you were at the Washington County Fair.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I met you. And that was a couple of years ago.
Right.
Saw you again at the Washington County Fair. I've seen you in a variety of places now. You get around all over the place. And that is a wonderful thing. So what are some of the reasons that the veterans are encountering these negative situations? I mean, I think a lot of people believe like there's lots of resources out there for veterans. So is it they're not connecting with the services available, or is it just, people have bad events happen to them?
I think it is pride. There can be trauma involved. And just nobody wants to be the pain in the neck who's out asking for something. And a lot of times, frankly, I get the request from a relative or from a wife describing a person who needs some type of assistance. And I don't care how we get the request. If it's a request that comes through my website, it could be from your aunt or your grandmother. It's fine. I'm going to read it. I'm going to respond.
And so you're staffed by all volunteers, because it sounds like what you're doing is massive. The need out there is massive.
It's big, but we'd like it to grow. We'd still like it to grow. There's still more hours in the day, and there's still more energy and gas in the tank. We could do more.
I absolutely understand that. So, you talk about providing transportation. I know that that's one of a big issue for our older adults, being able to get back and forth to doctor's appointments and things like that, or getting over to the VA or the CBOC in Middletown or Hyannis or the various ones in Mass. Do you work with other organizations to be able to coordinate all the different pieces?
We have a lot of friends who do exactly what I do. Jimmy Collins is New England helping our veterans. I believe he's in the car almost every day bringing a vet someplace.
Jimmy's amazing.
He's amazing. He's really something. He always has a bright idea, a good cigar, and a good story. He's a fantastic man.
Yeah.
So, we, and over the past 3 weeks, I've made more friends. I've been emailing back and forth with all kinds of smaller organizations like myself. And and they do a lot of things for morale and for networking and for us to get together and share ideas. It's, the more I get visibility doing shows like this, like I said, next week on September 23rd, we are 3 years old. We've been here a little while. We're not brand new, and
Yep.
we're starting to get into the water and swim around with everybody else. It's been pretty good. So we do network. We do have friends. We can usually almost make something happen.
It's interesting because RI Elder Info will be 3 on October 19th. And you're right. It takes a while to really kind of get that traction going, particularly, as nonprofits. And everywhere we look, I'm sure you're seeing a need. What caused you to create this? Did someone reach out to you in need, or? So there's I know that there's a lot of folks out there who are in need. So I mean, it could just be, you were in a position where folks just said, "Hey, Ken, I know this veteran who knows somebody," or are you a veteran yourself?
Right. I lost my son 3 years ago, and his a very close friend of ours. He was a friend of my son's. They were raised like brothers because I was best friends with his dad. That sounds confusing, but I lost my best friend and my son in very close proximity. And my best friend's son, Zach, and I wanted to start a 501c3 to help veterans. And we looked at all the things that these 501c3, these nonprofits do. We looked at vet ticks and all different kinds of things and all these great ideas. And we just felt like everything's already being done. These ideas have already been taken up. And then we just went simple and went with basic needs for a veteran that could be deployed immediately. And it worked. I don't know the combination to that, but it just happened to work. And now we're able to do, and we love doing this.
Yep.
So,
last week we spoke with Commander Wally Colwello from the DAV, and we were discussing that not all wounds of war are things that can be seen. And for many folks, it is really hard to come home. So it's really important that if there's a veteran out there that someone doesn't, maybe says they're not themselves lately, that you reach out and make that contact with them and encourage them to maybe call the Veterans Crisis Line to get the help that they need. There's a wonderful suicide prevention unit at the Providence VA. Right. But I think sometimes people are in crisis and it's not necessarily where they're afraid of taking their own lives, but they're just saying, holy good grief, like, how am I paying this electric bill? How am I, getting a ramp put on my house?
Right.
How am I getting these things done? Yep. And it sounds like that's where Heroes Horizons comes in. It's kind of like,
I have a gift. The circles I've ran in and the experiences I've had in my life, including my son, I have an eye for people who are circling the drain, not to, I don't want that to sound wrong. And I have friends who are in the business of making that not happen and making that connection. I can see in a person's eye, and it's easy. If a person actually wants to linger and kind of wants to talk, but can't really come up with the words, maybe in the background, their wife is tearing up and I can tell this person's in crisis. That means we just step aside and I have a more pointed conversation. It's important to ask a person. Some people will say, do you want to hurt yourself? And the answer to that is always no. Nobody wants to hurt. Are you thinking of killing yourself? Is the question. Ask it and get a direct answer. Insist on a direct answer. And there are resources that will, in my case, change that person's life and made it a useful, purposeful life worth living, where you could be happy and restored to having fun and living a full life. So.
Yep. I think sometimes people are afraid to ask that question, and they do kind of buffer it. Are you thinking of hurting yourself? I think people are afraid to ask straight up, Are you thinking of killing yourself?
Right.
Because they're afraid of the answer.
Right. Next question is, do you have a plan? What is your plan for killing yourself? Like, find those things out. Those are important.
Yep. Yep. And do you have access?
Right. It's not often that a person comes up with an exact plan for killing themselves that they're going to change the plan. So if the lethal means are removed, if you take away their gun, the chance that they're going to hang themselves is not very good. That they already had a plan and it got foiled, and that person is it's sometimes ready for the help that can be offered. And I have resources that have helped veterans.
Yep. So that's good. So, I mean, they can reach out to you. Now, do you guys provide mental health services, or do you just get, not just, but do you get people connected with mental health resources?
I have 3 people on speed dial that can do triage work right away while I get behind the scenes and call people who can get these guys these men and women inpatient health care.
Now, I know you had mentioned guns, and I know the Second Amendment and guns can be a very hot topic for many of our military members. And there are ways to ensure that the veteran can still keep their gun, even if, they do have thoughts of harming themselves. There are gun locks that can be that are actually given away for free in the suicide prevention unit over at the Providence VA. There are some of the recommendations that Commander Coelho had said, is put a picture of your loved ones, of your kids, on the gun safe. Separate the firing pin and the bullets and the weapon, so that it actually takes something a lot longer. So it gives you a little more time to reflect, and maybe it's that opportunity to reach out for help.
Right.
That's really the important thing. There's some statistics that say there are 22 veterans a day that take their own life.
Right.
I have spoken with other organizations that work to prevent veteran suicide, and they said that 22 a day is representative of the folks who are actually enrolled in the VA system and can be counted. It doesn't necessarily reflect the individuals who maybe accidentally on purpose took too many pain meds, or accidentally on purpose drove the car into the tree at 100 miles an hour.
Right.
Those folks don't necessarily get counted. And I'm not a veteran. I have the same belief you do, that if someone has signed on the dotted line to give me freedom and ease of life, it's my responsibility to give back what I can. My resources are such that it's, I can give you back information. What does it take to get you connected with what's out there? There are a lot of programs, but a lot of times there is a lot of paperwork. And where is the DD-214 and all of this? So when someone reaches out to you, what is the process? Say, somebody calls you and says, I just discovered, my furnace is blown.
Right.
So walk me through what that process looks like.
We like to direct them, or somebody that could help them, right to my website, and you can click on a box that says assistance. You could put anything. You could put anything you want in that box. We list a few programs that are pretty popular, but we're not limited to. And it says not limited to. If you go on my website and you ask for $1 million, that's a hard no. You're not going to get the $1 million. If your furnace is broken, and depending where you live, I'll get on the phone that day with a furnace repairman, and hopefully someone we used before, explain that we're a 501c3, we assist veterans, and we have a person with no heat. We need their help immediately. And after 3 or 4 of them calls, usually I'm going to get somebody over there quickly.
Yep.
And meet up with them, bring a checkbook, find out what we have to do, and get it going. So
that's good. How about car repairs?
if they have a shop or a lot of, here's what happens. The cars in the shop, they didn't know how much it was going to cost to repair. They might've thought it was $500 and the bill comes in at $1,800. They have to have help.
Yep.
I can drive down and tell them I'm a 501c3. I assist veterans. This person is reached out for assistance paying this car bill. I've caught a couple breaks doing that. And people are kind. People are just kind.
I think that's something that's really important too, is people are kind. We see a lot of divisiveness on the media,
Yeah.
but when we talk to one another face to face,
Right.
we are kind. We do want to help each other. We want to see other people succeed. We want to support those military members and their families. So the services that you provide, is it limited to just the military members, or could it be a spouse or elderly parents of a veteran? At
this point, it is for veterans. I'm in October. I'm going to meet with my board, and I would like to. This is the first they're hearing of this.
Surprise!
At some point, I would like to initiate some programs where we could possibly help with the education of some veterans' children, or the assist a veteran spouse who has been KIA or one of 22. And simple programs. I want to just extend what we do to a broader base of people.
Awesome.
That's an idea
Awesome.
that I have.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Sometimes the spouses of the veterans left behind, there's a lot of things that end up kind of falling by the wayside.
Right.
The things that you anticipated having a partner help you with through life, that becomes a real challenge. Real challenge. So I love what you're doing. So you've said that you are a 501c3.
Yes.
How can people help you? Are you looking for financial donations? Are you looking for service donations? Are you looking for volunteers? How can people support the mission of Heroes Horizons?
Well, what we do is find venues. So that's one thing, that if a person has a venue, a crowded place where a organization like mine would kind of fit in, and we don't fit in everywhere, but we do a pretty good job blending in with the crowd and getting our awareness out. There's a button on the website where a person could donate money. People go on my Facebook page, and I get messages about a person who's able to volunteer. We haven't had trouble getting people to volunteer on missions, like stripping that woman's roof and re-roofing the house. It was 9 degrees out, and we had dozens of people show up. Some of them were from a couple 100 miles away. Some of them had infants at home. We don't have problems hitting the ground and going to rake the leaves and strip the roof. I've had to ask, I really, when it comes to running the booth to vend merchandise, it's usually me and my girlfriend, or other volunteers that we can kind of shoot in there for a few hours. That could use some help, some volunteer help in the booth.
So it's funny because you're looking for venues where you said you want to, where you feel like your role might fit in, that you might blend. But I noticed you have on a bright red shirt.
Yeah.
What's up with the bright red shirt?
Today is Friday, and we call it Red Friday. A lot of the organizations that came before us initiated a kind of a movement, and they call it Red Friday. Red standing for Remember Everyone Deployed. This is our newest T-shirt. Let me see. Let me get that. Okay, Remember Everyone
there we
Deployed.
Go.
Okay.
I love that.
That's a picture of my beautiful son. And a lot of the organizations have. This is the back of the shirt. See me? There we come on.
There we go. Got it.
So we put in our plug for Heroes Horizons, but mostly on Fridays we want to remember everyone deployed. A lot of places have a dress down code for Fridays. If you work at a bank or a school, you're allowed to wear some, your favorite T-shirt or something like that. This is a great opportunity to support Red Friday and remember everyone deployed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So can corporations, say, purchase those shirts in bulk for a Dress Down Friday?
Absolutely. Sure.
Awesome.
Just hit my website, get me on a messenger. I can make a lot of things happen.
Very good. So, and Carrie Lynn was asking if they're available for purchase online.
I just received an option of opening a store on my Heroes Horizons Facebook page. And I'm going to work on that right after the weekend. I have a kind of a busy weekend, but I have a lot of merchandise. I want to put these on some people who aren't shy and use them as models and put them on my Facebook page and then be able to collect payment up through PayPal and things like that. That's a work in progress, and you should see it within the next week.
That's awesome. So people want T-shirts, and I know at the fairs you have T-shirts available as well.
Right.
And I know, like, you come in with a bunch of them, and then they sell out quick. So hopefully, when you have your online store, people will be able to get that. And all the money that you're gaining from selling the T-shirts supports being able to put the gas in the tank or fix the car or put a roof on for somebody. And get people the services they need so that it is one less weight on their shoulder in a time when one more thing could be too many.
Yeah. And that's every cent of that money. Nobody in my organization has ever received a penny for any service or those funds. If they don't get moved right back into more merchandise, they go straight to a mission. They're marked strictly for that.
So no mission too big or too small.
There might be one too big one day, but it hasn't happened yet. It's I would have to combine with some other forces, and just hasn't happened yet. But it could happen.
That's it. I'm always happy to combine forces with you, Ken. You are a force of nature. Well, I'm glad that you were able to join us today. The website is heroes-horizons.org. I'm sorry, heroes-horizons.org. So there it is on the screen. If people have any questions or they need help, they can give you a call at the 401-377-2950. And then
that's an office phone. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The best way to get me is actually 401-261-5660.
5660?
Right. Almost nobody sits in the office by that phone. It actually almost never rings ever. we get most of the missions through the website or actually Facebook Messenger. And at which point I ask them, please go to my website, make it official. We have to prove that, it just helps with accounting and all those things.
That's it. You got to track the money, where it goes, where it comes in, where it goes out. Oh, I'm familiar. That's awesome, Ken. I wish you all the best. I want to, support Heroes Horizons and get that word out. So share, everybody who's watching. This is really important. This is providing the nitty-gritty details that people need. Same day solutions. Right. There's not a lot of organizations that can do that out there.
Right. We're small, and like I said, we love what we do. I'd be very happy to leave work to go help a veteran any day of the week.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on today, Ken. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. We'll talk again soon, right?
Yes, and I'm sure I will see you in the community.
I know I will. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. So everybody, this is an amazing program. It provides literally same day. Somebody's got an issue that's going on. You can give Ken a call, give him a call right to his cell phone, the 261-5660, and he can get you hooked up with the services that you need so that, as a veteran, you don't have to struggle to find what you need. You can practice some self-care there. And there's enough resources. You're not taking away from someone else. So this is here for you. And Ken is more than happy to meet you where you're at. So for everybody who's watching, I really hope that you hit the like and the share to help get the word out about this great program that is doing some really amazing things. And I look forward to having you all join me next week. On Friday, friends, I'll be speaking with the Gold Star Family Memorial. I look forward to seeing you all, and be well.
If you liked this video, please follow us on social media and subscribe on YouTube. For more information, visit rielderinfo.com or call 401-585-0509. If you have any questions, email deb@rielderinfo.com.